Plaintiff Michaela Oxendine met the defendant through her nephew. And when the defendant was having issues with her boyfriend, Michaela allowed her to move in. Michaela claims they started having problems because the defendant was sneaking her abusive ex into their home. And she's suing her today for rent, a collections bill, and a deductible. Defendant Phaedra Roberts says after she moved in with Michaela, she discovered Michaela was dating a pimp. Phaedra claims she feared for her safety because she was told the FBI was after Michaela's boyfriend, and she's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
All right, so I met Phaedra in the summer of 2017. I met her through my nephew. My nephew used to date her cousin. She had moved from Florida. She was living with her mother out in Florida. She had gotten into a domestic dispute. Through that, she lived in Florida with a series of other roommates. Things didn't pan out. She came to Minnesota. After meeting Phaedra, she's expressed to me that she was in a stressful romantic relationship with her boyfriend at the time. They had cheating issues, 2 maybe babies, just a series of just problems, very problematic for her. I offered her relief, allowing her to move into my home. I had plenty of room for her. She was more than welcome. And that's just kind of how things started. Okay.
Was there an agreement for her to stay there?
Yes, sir.
How much?
The initial agreement was $80. She had wanted to move into a different room than the one that originally I had set up for her. For the basement, I had another
80 a month or a week?
80 per week. She was due to pay the day she moved in, and then every week thereafter on the same day.
How long did she stay?
She stayed for 3 months.
How was that? How did that go?
The beginning was great. She often referred to me as a soulmate, a soul sister. We exercised together. I got her eating healthy. She started sneaking her boyfriend in. She left her aunt's house due to sneaking.
Why did she have to sneak him in?
Well, I had a rule for everybody that you can only have someone stay for 2 nights, out of the week. Okay. That's my place of peace. So I'm not, her relationship counselor. So
when he was coming, did it ultimately cause a problem?
It did ultimately cause a problem. They argue. They're very argumentative with each other.
And they were doing that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And even the windows would break, and I just don't.
At your home?
Yes.
Okay.
A back window of a vehicle got broken out.
That's not true.
All right. Let me hear from you, ma'am.
When I first met her, she was adamant about me moving in. She has space. Come live free. Come, have fun at my house.
That's a lot.
I declined. For a couple weeks, actually, until I reached out to her and, needed the help.
$80 a week?
$80 a week, except I agreed to $130, and I was paying her early.
How did things go when you moved in?
Well, initially the first question that Michaela asked me was if I had a sugar daddy.
That's a lie.
Kind of brushed it off. It turns out that she is actually dating a pimp. And I felt distressed and terrorized for my life because the FBI was supposedly after him.
Dating a pimp or?
Dating a pimp.
Because that's not how that goes.
Well, she
You don't go to the movies holding hands and all the other romantic things that you might do when you're dating. Go ahead.
Well, we were living in his house.
You were living in a pimp's house?
We were living in the pimp's house. Yes, and
he was living there too?
No, he wasn't, and that's kind of.
How did you know it was
thing.
his?
She disclosed that to me.
Okay.
So Michaela has a security system that's attached to her phone. Each time you open any door in the house, she gets a ring. Her allegations of me sneaking in, they're false. I can't sneak in. She sees.
You think she's looking at it every time somebody comes in?
She always has her phones.
You all didn't have arguments or fights there at the house?
Me and Michaela, I was very adamant about...
Not you and her, you and your boyfriend.
Oh, no, me and him never fought at her house. Actually, a lot of the times he would come to do homework and
The window she's referring to, you know nothing
never happened
of that?
at her apartment. I mean, I lived with her,
Oh, it did happen, though?
It happened, yeah.
Where?
At his place.
And you just told her about it?
Well, I drove back home with the car busted, and I told her that, yeah, me and him did have arguments.
If he bust the windows out your car when you go over his house, why, when you all together, he wouldn't lose his temper again and start arguing and fussing?
Well, that happened, excuse me.
Go ahead.
That, him busting the windows, that happened, it didn't happen with her, and then after that, he never came back to her house.
Okay, but she knew because you had confided in her before you moved in with her. That's what she says.
Yeah, but not that he was abusive, but yes, that he
Would you confide then, that he was a good guy?
He was a good guy. I mean, the argument, it was more or less, you know, I was in my feelings.
All the time? She says you all argued all the time, and that you conveyed that to her. You were never telling her that you were arguing all the time?
Initially, when I found out that he might have had a baby.
Let me hear from you, ma'am. What are you suing for? The rent and the collections bill. She says that she's never had any of those altercations you refer to. So I don't know what else to tell you other than she says the guy who broke her window, who you say she argued with all the time, who had a bunch of maybe babies out in the street, he was a good man.
He was a good man.
She could attest to that.
I understand. He's a good man. I'm with you. That's what you call a good man. You got it there. What are you suing her for? Rent, collections bill, and deductible?
Yes. I helped Phaedra. I ended up borrowing her my son's library card so she can go ahead and educate herself. And
when was that?
That was, I want to say October, mid-October. 2017. She rented a series of expensive books based on production, music industry, things of that nature, and she just simply never returned them. I have text messages of me saying, hey, are you going to return them? And I have a collections bill here
Let's
for you.
see that, please. Collections bill meaning it probably ruined or is going to ruin your credit or hurt your credit if you got a collections bill. All right, yep, hurting your credit over some books.
Over books.
Which I have, Your Honor.
Yeah, but she has a collections bill. I care about what you have today. Music, books, rapper. She's a wannabe rapper.
Possibly.
Is that what you said?
I'm not sure,
She rented production books on music.
Books. Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
what?
That's false. The books were on marketing and teamwork.
You have them today in TV?
And teamwork. And teamwork building.
You have them today, you said?
I do have them.
Okay, why don't you go and get the books that she says she has, and then we'll continue. The rent, how does she owe you for rent?
She quit paying. I have text messages of her.
When did she stop paying?
She quit paying 5 months before she vacated my home unexpectedly.
I don't know when that is.
October, I believe the first week, October 3rd.
17?
Yes,
obviously.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And did she tell you why?
She was having money problems. She just has relationship problems in general with work, co-workers, family, friends, whatnot. So I do have text messages of her acknowledging.
Was she part of a lease? Or just a tenant of yours, a sub-lessor?
Yes, sir.
A roommate?
Yes, sir.
Come on, put them over here. Just set them right there. I'll look at them. I can see from the side. All right, so far looking good. Data. Effective marketing, rules of money, game plan. She must see her only problem. She didn't read these. Otherwise, she wouldn't have those money problems you're talking about, and she would be able to pay her rent. Well, we're going to adjourn this until she reads them. Then maybe she. All right. And so, what reason did she tell you she was leaving?
She didn't. She just left. I actually repeatedly told her, please let me know when you decide to vacate so I can be aware and I can have another person move in. And
the deductible for what?
For my vehicle. I have documents here. Phaedra, upon moving into my home, I told her that I would help her with the vehicle.
Let's see it.
And she crashed that vehicle not only like a week and a half, 2 weeks before or after moving into my home.
What happened?
Arguing with this great boyfriend of hers. She was having a wonderful argument with him and ran a stop sign.
Boyfriend?
Her great, amazing boyfriend.
He's a good man.
Yeah, ran a stop sign.
How much she owe for this good man on this?
The deductible, $500, sir.
All right. Ma'am, what do you say to these things? The rent, we know about the bill collection. And by the way, pile them up over there. Okay. And you take them to the library. That's who owns them. Tell me what happened with the rent, ma'am.
It was October, in the beginning of October, that our mutual, her nephew, disclosed to me that she was speaking ill about me. I felt unsafe in the home that I was living in. Michaela wasn't working. She was dealing drugs out of the place. She had a booster.
That's the first I heard of that.
She had a booster.
No, you didn't say that. You said she had a pimp.
She gets
no, you said she had a pimp. You didn't say anything about dealing drugs.
Well,
I believe you're making it up. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day. Judge you for the plaintiff.
She could have just paid the bills and we could have moved on and actually maintained a friendship.
You know, I don't want to be affiliated with Michaela at all. She's not a good person to be around. She has no integrity.